A very beautiful morning, our dearest Munati viewers. Welcome to today's breakfast show with me, host Martina Chilubadaka. And be sure to catch Munati breakfast show every day from Monday to Friday at exactly 8 hours. Today is indeed a very beautiful Monday, and today's topic of discussion is GBV, and I'm not alone, and I'll still have a guest who happens to be Margaret Maimbo on stage. So right that now I'm in the studio with my colleague here, Renaida. Good morning, Renaida.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm alright, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. It's a beautiful Monday. Well, how was your weekend?
It was okay. We had church and just some interesting stories.
Great. Okay, so be sure to catch Munati Breakfast Show on Facebook and be sure to like, comment. You can also drop us your comment, your views, or even give us a call on the number that is showing on the screen, which is 0975 31 48 54, or drop a comment on Facebook and we'll be able to read it out, and that way we'll be able to interact. And also note that you can also like our YouTube channel as well as our Telegram channel and drop your comments there. We're also live there. So right as now we just go for a short break. Join us shortly as we'll be going direct into discussing today's current affairs. Stay tuned.
Business Bear is a weekly Munati television production featuring professional bodies like the Economics Association of Zambia, Bankers Association of Zambia, Zambia Association of Manufacturers, governmental agencies, and other professional economists and researchers. The program provides commentary and analysis on economic topics including monetary policies, macro developments, inflation, labor economics, manufacturing, mining, energy, agriculture, and financial issues. Hosted by Lucky Chelomuna Kampe, the program starts every Wednesday at 10 hours. The Business Bear is a weekly Munati
and welcome back to today's breakfast show. So before I go direct into looking at what we've got in the current affairs, let me just read two comments that I've seen on our Facebook page. One is coming from Rosina, and Rosina Mumba says following. Thank you so very much, Rosina, for following. It's actually interesting and knowing that you are following today's show. And another one comes from Stanley Bosso, and Stanley says, watching live from the abandoned districts, number 9, Montserrado country. Thank you so very much, Stanley. It's actually great to also know that you are tuned in to today's show. So right as at now, Renaida, we go direct into looking at what we've got in the current affairs. So the first story from the Lusaka Times newspaper says, load shedding cast a bad light on the UPND's promise of sustainable power supply during campaigns. Political analyst John Sichangwa has said that the recently announced load shedding cast a bad light on the UPND government that promised Zambia's sustainable power supply during campaigns. Mr. Sichangwa also wondered why there are seemingly conflicting statements from ZESCO Limited and the Ministry of Energy, with former indicating generational surplus while the latter announced load shedding. During the Association of Power Utilities of Africa, let's just talk about this generally, looking at the promises that were given and looking at what happened. Because it says during the Association of Power Utilities of Africa meeting in Senegal, ZESCO Management Director Victor Mapani disclosed that Zambia has achieved 1,156 megawatts generation surplus, but Energy Minister Peter Kapala recently announced up to 6 hours of load shedding that begins on the 15th of December 2022. What do you have to say about this load shedding, looking at the premises that people were being given?
I think it's a surprise, more especially to the public, because the public really didn't expect load shedding to continue. As we were promised, more especially during PF government, a lot of people thought load shedding ended, but it was a surprise to the people that it was announced load shedding is coming back. And for 6 hours is a huge, it's a big, how can I say it? 6 hours, that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, yes.
More especially to the people out there who have salons, who are doing barber shop. What is the government thinking of them? Are they going to help them maybe with solar system things or something like that?
Quite alright, just looking at it from that angle, would say people who've got saloons, people who've got barber shops, people who are running butcheries, those are people that really depend on power supply. Those are people that depend on electricity. Even us here, quite alright, we might get a genset and the likes, but people depend on electricity for their everyday lives. And then looking at people who are running butcheries, looking at people who are running saloons, what if that 6 hours is during the day, and then during that 6 hours they do not have power to to help them run their businesses, and then what do they have to feed their families for the day if nobody comes for help? Latin, looking at it from the angle of maybe one who owns a barber shop.
It's going to be bad. I'm pretty sure load shedding is going to be during the day, because in the night a lot of bad things happen. So we expect power to be there. But for those who have barber shops, I think it will be bad. This is going to be an impact on them.
It will really be a very negative impact, because looking at, okay, people run that's a business that people are running, and then they depend on that for their everyday life, like feeding their families and the likes. But if power should be going for such long hours, such as 6 hours, it's us, the people out here, it's the people out there, the general public that will feel the impact, the negative impact of it, because most of these places will not be out of power. If you go to Mulungushi right now, you won't find, even if power is gone, you won't find that Malaiti end up Mulungushi, because it's that kind of a place. But us people here are the ones who really suffer for that. And I think the government should look into it. Quite alright, yes, the Kariba Dam might not have water, the Kariba Dam might be draining, but they must look into it. 6 hours is just a lot of time.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let me just read further. After launching part of the 750 megawatts Kafiwe-Loa, it was also announced that the country has a national generation capacity of 3,456 megawatts against a peak national demand of approximately 2,300 megawatts. But Mr. Sichingwa, in an interview with local radio station Phoenix, questioned what was changed now after clear indications from ZESCO that even with the low water levels at Kariba Dam, Zambia would not face any load shedding, as the country has surplus electricity generation capacity. If the country has got surplus electricity generation capacity, looking at the lower levels of water at the Kariba Dam, but why should this why should the load shedding come about when we've got supplies of water supply?
Exactly. I think on that one the government needs to make it clear to the public, because there are a lot of questions out there. People are wondering what is causing load shedding. So I think we really need clarification on that.
Yes, we actually do. We really do need clarification. Looking at the people that voted, they voted to say they wanted change, like they really wanted to move out of this load shedding. I remember load shedding really started. It came and it became this well known, like this. That was in 2014, or yeah, 2014,
Yes,
2013, that's when load shedding really started. And from that time, people have really suffered, especially those who are owning butcheries, saloons, like you said, in barber shops. People who are depending on power for their everyday businesses. There's somebody out there who's running a popcorn business, and then he depends on that to pay rentals, to buy electricity, to dress himself, to feed himself and the likes, to even help other people out there, like his family. And then if power goes from, let's say, 9 hours to whatever time, what time is he going to make that money that will help him pay rentals?
That's impossible. And popcorns are usually sold in during morning and afternoon. Usually the people who buy popcorns are our school-going children. So if power won't be around during that time, then that becomes impossible for he or she to have money.
Okay, great. Great. So before I proceed on to another story, let me just read these comments that I've seen. I've seen a comment from Greenwell, and Greenwell is responding to Stanley. But there is another comment from Lisha Lucius, and Lisha Lucius says following. And there is another comment from Evelyn Eve Munakampe. Evelyn also says watching. Thank you so very much for your comments, and it is actually great to know that you people are watching today's show. So remember, you can also drop us your views, like on the things that we're talking about today. You can just drop us your comments on what we're actually talking about today. Is load shedding, and there are other stories in the current affairs that we're talking about. You can drop those comments using the number that is showing on your screen, which is 0975 31 48 54, or even drop a comment in our comment section on Facebook, and I'll be able to read it out. So as we conclude on the topic of the load shedding, would you suggest load shedding should be reduced to somewhere maybe 3 hours or less than, or what should the government do for this thing to be sorted out? Looking at 6 hours, 6 hours is a very long time.
Yes, I think load shedding can be reduced in such a manner where maybe they can find a way where power can go maybe at 03, then coming back, or maybe 7 hours there. It will really help the people with salons who are doing popcorns, barber shops, people with butcheries, because during the afternoon people will be moving up and down to look for leverage, which becomes very complicated with, because I personally cannot go and buy foodstuffs that are damaged. So I think if power goes at 03, comes back maybe or 7, it will really help with that.
And looking at it, that we've not had heavy rains for some time now. Like looking at it, we've not have had heavy rains, and this is December. We're heading to January. What if we will not have rains up to I don't know when? If this is the only kind of rain season that we're experiencing, whereby we won't have heavy rains, will this load shedding continue with this government, or how will it be? So the government must look into that to help us and the people out there, to help the general public, so to say, sort this issue. So, and let's move on to another story. So here I've got a story that says the government committed to developing the arts industry. The government says it remains committed to promoting the art industry as it is proving to be a growing source of employment for many Zambians. Kaoma District Commissioner Sheba Muyambango explained that people should not only be limited to look for white-collar jobs when there are other opportunities in the arts industry to earn a living through talent. Ms. Muyambango was speaking in Kaoma at the Lusaya movie premiere local production, the first of its kind in Western Province. She stated that government has demonstrated its commitment through the 10,000 kwacha grant that was given to Lusaya movie productions. So, what the government says here, it's actually encouraging youths and other people out there not only to depend on white-collar jobs, whereby you're done with school, the only thing you want to go and do is doctorate, nursing, accountancy, and the likes. But people should also look into developing talents, because in a talent, nobody can ever take that thing out of you. That thing is really in you; it stays in you, and nothing can ever take it away unless you stop developing.
I think it's a good thing that the government is coming in to empower more, especially to the youths. a lot of youths out there have talent. Is you find this person can sing, but if they don't have that, they're not empowered. They're not going to show their talent to the public out there. We have people who can plait, people who are good at art, specifically drawing. We need the government to support. Yes.
That's a very good thing, and the government must really look into that, because it's not only about white collar jobs. It's not only about being a journalist and the likes. Quite alright, yes, I'm a journalist, but aside from that, I'm a fashion designer. And that's my skill, that's my talent, that's something that stays in me, and that's something that actually gives me pride. So if youths out there and a lot of people out there will just stop concentrating on these white collar jobs of becoming a teacher, a lawyer, this and that, because the government, no matter what president comes in, it's not, they cannot employ everybody in the country.
Yes.
You know, not everybody can be employed at that particular time. Quite alright, yes, that's a reason to why we've got people retiring, and then others, sorry to say, but others are dying, yes. So that, you know, so that people should be employed, but the government cannot employ everybody else out there. The government cannot employ everybody in the world at a go for this job. So it's important that somebody, you know, people can draw, people can sing, people can do a lot of stuff. They can do a lot of things whereby if they venture into doing those things, they'll come up with very good money, even far much better than these white collar jobs that they are looking for. So let me just read further. This first ever movie that has been produced in Kaoma has put Western Province on the map. The province should not be one of the poorest provinces when we can have enormous wealth of talent that can be tapped into, she said. The district commissioner called on youths to apply for empowerment through the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) so as to better their livelihood. And a renowned Zambian actress, Violet Waluwita, popularly known as Dines, called on upcoming actors and actresses to persevere. You know, talking about the movie industry in Zambia, I don't think it's something that people really see as something that's very important or something that is serious. They don't take it serious.
Yes, they don't. But as for now, I think we should take it serious, because we in our industry, when it comes to music, filming, we can bring that comparison as it is for now. It is very implemented, improved compared to the years that we had.
Definitely. Looking at the country, Nigeria is doing very well in movie industry, and Nigeria is it's actually on the top. Nigeria is on the top in Africa, I would say, because the movies that are being produced by Nigerian, even if you watch the movie over 5 times, you still want to watch it again. And if Zambians can only put that into consideration, if youths and the people, the general public, can put that into consideration, taking movies as seriously, looking at these movies that we've got on Zambezi Magic that are produced by Zambians, so that's okay, that's perfect. And if we can only take these things seriously and take it as employment, things will really work out. You know, I say employment is available, but people look for employment in places that are already taken. If you would look for employment in places like, maybe let's say graphic designing, in places or in sectors of camera operating, in maybe fashion designing, journalism, acting, those are some of the places where employment is available. But because of the interest, people look at it to say, okay, because I'm a girl, I can't be found in the camera. I'm a girl, yes, but I'm a camera operator as well. I am a girl, yes, but I do several other things. But that's not, that shouldn't be the case to say, no, because I'm a girl, I'm a lady, I must not be a camera operator or the likes. That's a skill that people must learn, and that skill is something that will really help you out there. So people must also put into consideration stuff like that, because looking at white collar jobs, those things are limited. It's not everybody that can be employed. So things go at a time. And then let me just read on to another story. And then here it says, the fight against corruption in Zambia has not been very impressive in the past decade. Transparency International Zambia TIZ chapter president Sampa Kalungu has said the fight against corruption in Zambia has not been very impressive in the past decade. Commenting on the 2022 International Anti-Corruption Day, Mr. Kalungu said it was unfortunate that Zambia is ranked 117 out of 180 countries on the 2021 Corruption Perception Index reported by Transparency International. He said Zambia's ranking on the 2021 Corruption Perceptions Index reported by Transparency International is not something to be proud of. Looking at the crimes that the SEC has been fighting, and anti-corruption has to make sure that they end these corruption things, and looking at Transparency International Zambia, they say Zambia was on the 117 list out of the 180, which is not okay, meaning the crime rate in Zambia is actually very high.
Yes, it is very high, and I think the government should also put much consideration in corruption. There's a lot of corruption in Zambia, and it is something that is very bad. You find that you are applying for a job, but because the person who is in position has other relatives who are supposed to have a job, they're unemployed, they would rather employ their relatives than employing you with papers.
Definitely, with your paper you still have no employment, because people are using means and ways of bringing in things that are not supposed to be. Imagine using a shortcut when you know that the shortcut is wrong, and then you're supposed to use the long route. So corruption is something that must end in Zambia. Corruption is something that the Anti-Corruption Commission and Transparency International Zambia should look into it and make sure that it also comes to an end. So let me just read further. He said Zambia's ranking on the 2021 Corruption Perceptions Index reported by Transparency International is not something to be proud of. Mr. Kalungu said Zambia must not be the weak link in the fight against corruption in Africa and the world. No stakeholder, no nation, and definitely not Zambia must be weak link in the fight against corruption. The past decade for Zambia has not been very impressive insofar as fighting corruption is concerned, as figures can show. Zambia is ranked 117 out of 180 countries according to the 2021 Corruption Perceptions Index reported by Transparency International. This is not the record to be proud of according to the 2020 Mo Ibrahim Index of African Governance IIAG. Zambia ranked 21st out of the 54 African countries in good governance and democracy. And that is just average, and that is not the place we want to be. Just average. The 2022 International Anti-Corruption Commission Day IACD seek to highlight the crucial link between the anti-corruption, peace, security, and development at its core in the notion that tackling this crime is the right and responsibility to everyone, and that only through cooperation and the involvement of every person and institution can we overcome the negative impact of this crime. States, government officials, civil servants, law enforcement officers, media representatives, the private sector, civil society, academia, the public and youth alike all have a role to play in this, Mr. Kalunga said. The press, media representatives, we also have a role to play in this, that fighting corruption. The role that we've got, one that I would outline, is something whereby somebody very powerful out there should come and pay just because they did something wrong, and then they pay you to twist the information. No matter how much you really want the money, just be truthful and help Zambia. Be a loyal citizen, be a true citizen by helping curb this crime that everybody is fighting. Government officials, civil servants, law enforcement officers should look into this and make sure that corruption is curbed and no corruption should ever be recorded. Looking at Zambia, a country that it is, and then it's recorded as the 117 top, not Napansidi Pamamba Pakran. Imagine. It's very embarrassing, hey?
Very.
Okay, so I think right as of now, that's all that we've got for you in the current affairs, and we'll be going for a short break. Join us shortly, as I'll be joined on set with my guest today, who happens to be Margaret Maimbo. And stay tuned. Also remember that you can drop us your views, your comments, your opinions on the number that is showing on your screen, which is 0975 31 48 54. Also remember that you can give me a call or even drop us a comment on Facebook, and I'll be able to read it out. So now we go for a short break. Join us shortly as we'll be coming to discuss the the topic of discussion. Stay tuned.
Business Bear is a weekly Munati television production featuring professional bodies like the Economics Association of Zambia, Bankers Association of Zambia, Zambia Association of Manufacturers, governmental agencies, and other professional economists and researchers. The program provides commentary and analysis on economic topics including monetary policies, macro developments, inflation, labor economics, manufacturing, mining, energy, agriculture, and financial issues. Hosted by Lucky Chelomuna Kampe. The program starts every Wednesday at 10 hours.
Munati.
Meaning something sweet.
Munati, your TV on the go. Catch us anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a device and internet.
Munati TV is Zambia's first internet TV station.
And internet is just not in Zambia, meaning Munati TV cuts across all borders with viewers all the way from USA, Botswana, South Africa, the UK, and world over.
Internet is the future. And the future is now.
Welcome to the future. Welcome to Munati. Your TV on the go. Munati.
Meaning something sweet.
Munati, your TV on the go. Catch us anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a device and internet.
Munati TV is Zambia's first internet TV station.
And internet is just not in Zambia, meaning Munati TV cuts across all borders with viewers all the way from USA, Botswana, South Africa, the UK, and world over.
Internet is the future. And the future is now.
Welcome to the future. Welcome to Munati. Your TV on the go.
Welcome back to Munati Breakfast Show, and just like I said earlier, I will be joined by a guest of which I've got now in the studio. Good morning, Margaret, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, thank you.
Great. So, Margaret, you being the founder and the chief, the chief project coordinator of Galaxy Creating Innovative Minds. Just brief us on what Galaxy Creating Innovative Minds is, and I think you can also introduce yourself for the people out there so that they can get a clear view.
Okay, so my name's Margaret.
Okay.
Maimbo.
Okay.
I am firstly a member, a founder, and also the chief project coordinator for the organization.
Okay, great.
Galaxy is a youth non-lead, non-government organization that was formed in 2019 in Garden.
Okay.
So like I have mentioned, it's a youth non-government organization. That means basically these are just youths that are advocates.
Okay.
And basically our role as an organization is we fight against gender-based violence and substance abuse in our community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just like you said you fight against gender-based violence and substance abuse, drug abuse in the community, and it was founded in 2019. So how has it been? How has been your experience ever since?
Well, the experience has been, firstly, we have learnt a lot through this whole journey of fighting gender-based violence and substance abuse. Number two, I think with the effect of COVID, it has been very challenging for us to get to where we are trying to go, where our goal is or where our vision is. But all in all, we have come to understand why people end up being victims and why people end up doing it. So far so good, we are getting there, but the fight still goes on. We want to stop, if possible, zeroing out gender-based violence.
Great, great.
Okay. Considering what you've said, your aim is to remove gender-based violence. And last, I think that was, if it's not last month, some weeks ago, we had a group of women who are stopping pregnant women from attending antenatal services. So how can you help the women? Because they really need to be educated on that.
Okay. You know, gender-based violence is in many forms, such that a lot of people do not actually recognize that this is actually an act of gender-based violence. For instance, we had issues with sodomy, and most people do not know that that's actually gender-based violence.
Yes.
And in your case, I think most people tend to do all these things, or they tend to suppress other people's rights, or destroy other people's lives, or careers, or any other thing that they want to achieve, is because they don't have knowledge about all these things. So as an organization, we look out in going in communities, especially door to door, where we teach people of what GBV is all about. How do you identify that this is a victim, and which places or where do you go if you know or if you have seen somebody who is a victim? Because when you understand the aspect or the definition for gender-based violence, basically the simplest term that you can come up with is GBV is an act of trying to destroy someone, kill someone, or completely vanishing what their aim is all about. So you understand even the action that those women did, basically it was for their best interest, because they wanted to achieve something. They wanted to destroy something according to their interest.
Okay, great. Great. So looking at the past issue that we had with sodomy, and just like you stated, that gender-based violence is in many ways, and gender-based violence is not only on women or ladies, but also men. can be violated. Looking at the news that I had a week ago, there was something that was reported saying men fear to go and report these cases because they have that fear of being laughed at by women and saying, but mkazi wako kumenya bwana in the life. So looking at the sodomy cases that we had, how did Galaxy Creating Innovative Minds step in?
I'm very happy that you brought out two genders, because our organization does not only focus on the female aspect of fighting gender-based violence, but we also look at the male gender as well, because we have realized men are also victims of gender-based violence, and there are a lot.
Definitely. And
the saddest part is that the stories are hidden, yeah, and you find that as they are growing, because there's a term that they use, Ebo Chungu sang this song, Mamuna Samadila, you know, and they tend to hide. Even as you're young, when a kid falls, say, Mamuna Samadila, you know, that's where it starts from.
Okay.
That's where families and our communities have killed stories of a male child being, you know, their rights being violated, or them being involved in gender-based violence. As a team, Galaxy, when we heard that there were issues to do with sodomy, the first thing that we did was to understand, first of all, why are these cases coming up, okay? And the other thing was, how do we help, firstly, the men or the male youth that was in our organization. So what we started doing was to start recounseling our own very members who are in the organization and checking if there was anyone who had faced these challenges.
Okay.
That was the first thing. The second thing is that we made sure that we had opened our social media platform for any male or for any youth who's a male that has involved themselves or that is passing through this situation to come to us and have a one-to-one cancellation and talking to us, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you opened that platform, did the male that the male that were involved in such cases appear?
We only had one cases, which I won't be able to review here.
Okay.
But one of the cases was this. He's not part of the organization,
okay,
but they just came because we receive a lot of inbox messages, phone calls of people, because people don't want to, you know, tell the stories to the public because they'll be judged and all those things.
Yes.
So we managed to cancel this person, and we're still canceling,
okay,
because we have different programs as an organization.
Great.
We have the youth camp, which is coming up. Today is what? 12?
Yes.
We have the youth camp, which the male and the female. So from as young as 7 years to 35 years.
Okay.
This is the youth camp where they go for a week for training, where they counsel you, they remove whatever you're hiding inside you. We talk about gender-based violence, substance abuse, drug abuse, how to respect parents, and divorce issues with their parents. We have so many things that the youth are going through that parents don't even know. So when these people go to the youth camp, this is where we now, you know, start to get everything, you know, from the youth. Aside from that, we also have aerobics training, where we call out the community, we exercise, and during that exercise, we find ourselves counseling other youths. Aside from that, we also have the meditation session. This is a private session where we call people that are interested to come, and during that session, we want to deal with their inner self, where they come for this session, they motivate, they deal with themselves before somebody else deals with their emotions and whatever they're going through.
Okay, great.
Okay. Looking at the case that we had of sodomizing, don't you think gazing is maybe in supportive of it?
To my extent, this is my opinion.
Yes.
To some extent, yes, I would say it affects part of it. Yeah.
Okay, great. So looking at you, you're a woman. Yeah, you're a woman, and then it's people out there really think it's very hard for women to start up something, especially an organization. You know, handling with people's issues. People come with different issues each day, and then you also have your own issues, you also have your own ups and downs, and then somebody comes to you. What inspired you to come up with such an organization, and what actually keeps you going?
That's a very good question. I've never been asked that question. Why did I start up something like this? Trust me, everybody has gone through GBV. Even you probably didn't know that this is what I'm actually going through.
Yes.
So for me, I passed through a very terrible situation at one point where my rights were victimized and the police were not there to help me. At that particular time, I could have died. So when I came out of that situation, I made a promise to God that I will go out there and help out everybody who has their rights suppressed, who has nobody to support them, who does not understand to say, this is actually, I'm being violated. I think that's what made me start this. And the journey has been amazing. The journey has been amazing.
Okay, great. So what really inspires you to still continue? Like I said earlier, looking at, you've got your own ups and downs, you've got your own moods as well, I would say. And then there are other people who come up with, we are well on my issues, they are low, this one, emotion, and just how?
Okay, what has made me continue is seeing somebody who was really down,
Okay.
coming up on their feet and trying to help somebody out there. We amazingly have women,
Okay.
and especially on the substance abuse aspect, where this woman was divorced and the children were taken away from her. She started taking alcohol every day. It was bad. When I saw this woman, I didn't know her. I had to call her, and as an organization, we had to start counseling her. As we speak right now, she's doing very well. She's doing great. She looks better than how she was looking. We have kids, especially, and this goes out to a lot of parents out there. If you are divorced or separated, please try as much as possible to take your children to counseling. You have no idea what these kids go through, because we see these things when they go to the camp, and they cry out a lot. They probably are doing certain things that you don't like because of that situation. And for me, seeing these youths come out from a certain behavior that wasn't okay, from substance abuse, from, junk type of life, and then they, are better people. These are people that I would say some have actually opened their own organizations because of coming through our organization, because of helping out these people. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. With a lot of GB cases that we've had in our country, do you think the public out there is not being sensitized enough with information of GBV, or maybe it's being ignorant? Because we have a lot of beliefs. You find they will tell a girl child, as a girl child, you're not supposed to sit like this. A girl child, you're not supposed to work with boys. Do you think, is the government trying to sensitize people out there how they can come out of GBV, or maybe they're just being ignorant?
I think the government is trying to sensitize people, but even the trying, I think, is not enough. I remember we had an issue sometime maybe 20 years ago about HIV, and we saw how many organizations, companies came in to just fight HIV and AIDS during that time. Right now, we do have organizations like our organization that are fighting against gender-based violence, but I think the impact is not that much. This is my own opinion. I think the impact is not that much, because when you talk about gender-based violence and when you look at the types of gender-based violence, there are other aspects that are also hindering the fight. For instance, corruption is part of it. So I feel companies, organizations, people at home, parents should come together and really fight this gender-based violence, because trust me, even the suicide cases that we've had, they come from the same GBV.
That's true. Okay, like you said you feel the impact is not enough, even with organizations like Galaxy. We also have a lot of other organizations like the YWCA and the likes. But what do you think should be done for this, for the sensitization to be done accordingly?
Firstly, I think social media has proved that it can do wonders. And I feel TV stations, media companies should at least have a certain program that has to talk about GBV every week.
Okay.
If you're going to have a program that has to talk about GBV and how to fight it, please do it. Allow your children, for parents, allow your children to join organizations that talk about gender-based violence. In schools, open clubs that do talk about gender-based violence and how to end it. In schools also, what they can also do is open up counseling, maybe clubs, or just a program for counseling their own pupils, where they could undergo a certain training specifically under gender-based violence. And also, I think the victim support should also pull up their stockings in fighting against the gender-based violence. Trust me, we've gone through a lot, and sometimes some police station and police men and women are good, but some, they've really disappointed us. So victim support unit, the police should also take part, and they should take it to heart. You've heard of words like don't take it to heart, but I think this one they should take it to heart. It will really help stop certain things like suicide, killing of people, and even junkies.
Great. Okay, so you said earlier that Galaxy creating innovative minds is a non-governmental organization, right? And you're being the founder and the CEO. How do you manage, like you said, you'll be having a camp which is coming very soon, and then how do you manage in terms of finances?
Okay, so we have a few well-wishers that we go to and ask for funds, because trust me, when these youths go, they're about 15, and many more that come for this camp, and they eat, and there's transport, and you have to take care of them for the whole week. So we do have companies, well-wishers, even just people that come to us and say, we want to donate this to the youths that are going for a certain program. And sometimes we do have trainings, youth training, youth entrepreneurship training, and very soon we'll be doing a cake baking training where we're giving the general public, the youth specifically, both male and female, they'll be coming for this training for free. They're not paying anything, and we rely on these companies that we go and ask. We tell them, okay, this is our program, this is our proposal, this is what we want to achieve, could you help us with this? And people have been coming through, and we've been achieving quite a number of good youths attending for such trainings.
Great. So we're still on the Munati Breakfast Show with today's guest, who happens to be Margaret Maimbo, the founder and Chief Project Coordinator. So right as of now, before she goes, like she's still in the studio with me, so we'll just go for a very short break, and we'll be back shortly as we are still having a chat with Margaret Maimbo. Stay tuned.
Business Bear is a weekly Munati television production featuring professional bodies like the Economics Association of Zambia, Bankers Association of Zambia, Zambia Association of Manufacturers, governmental agencies, and other professional economists and researchers. The program provides commentary and analysis on economic topics including monetary policies, macro developments, inflation, labor economics, manufacturing, mining, energy, agriculture, and financial issues. Hosted by Lucky Chelomuna Kampe. The program starts every Wednesday at 10 hours.
Munati.
Meaning something sweet.
Munati, your TV on the go. Catch us anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a device and internet.
Munati TV is Zambia's first internet TV station.
And internet is just not in Zambia, meaning Munati TV cuts across all borders with viewers all the way from USA, Botswana, South Africa, the UK, and world over.
Internet is the future. And the future is now.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Munati. Your TV on the go.
Welcome back to Munati Breakfast Show, and I'm still in the studio with Runaida and our guest for today, Margaret Maibo. So, Margaret, let's continue with what we're talking about, GBV. So, looking at your organization, how do you intend to curb this GBV?
Okay, so in this organization we have what we call the triple RM formula.
Okay.
Basically, the triple RM formula is basically just to, the first R talks about reducing the number of people. So if you're a victim of gender-based violence or substance abuse, is we go out in the community. In fact, our key is we don't go in a crowd or we don't just talk on media.
Okay.
Most of our work is in community. We go door to door.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we go there, we educate you, sensitize the causes, the effects, and where you get the help from. That's the first R.
Okay.
The second R is the first R, I always mumbo jumbo them. The first R is recycling.
Okay.
Yeah, where we educate you and all that. The second R is we reduce, because when we educate you, you now know, so meaning we've reduced the number of cases of gender-based violence or substance abuse. The last R is we start reusing you. Us as an organization, we believe for someone to heal or for someone to change is let them help out what they were actually doing, or for them to heal, they need to go out there and sensitize or teach somebody or counsel someone. Basically, it's just helping that person come out of what they were in. We found this to be very effective and people heal quickly.
Okay.
And the last, which is the M, is we maintain. How do we maintain? We give them positions, we give them assignments. For instance, the youth camp that's coming, yeah, we give them an assignment where they go and talk to other youths of what they faced, what they went through, and how do they get to find help. The entrepreneurship training, we give them assignment. If there's any youth out there who probably want to talk about marketing, sales, and we just give them a topic, they study about that, and then they come for the training to educate other youths. Basically, it's just the triple RM formula that we use.
Great. So, on my view as a journalist, it is that the thing that I can say is it is very hard to go in the communities just to get to interview somebody, and then they get to open up and talk about something because people are scared. I don't know what they're scared of, but how is it for you as an organization going into the communities door to door and then trying to talk to them about something? Isn't it very hard? Because as a journalist, others deny, others refuse to say, no, I can't do this, I can't talk. Sinikaonekele pa camera, nikaonekela pa camera, bazani, you know, bantu bazani ona, maybe nikakambati kuno kulipa majonages, the government will follow me here, you know, things like that. But how do you find it as an organization going door to door, talking to somebody and then they open up? Isn't it hard for you?
No. It's not hard for our organization. So when you come to our organization as a member, we train you on how to talk to people. And the other thing is we train our members to be very patient and very kind to people.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not hard, being that we have interacted with many people and we know how to talk to these people.
Great.
Firstly, do not judge them. Do not inflict fear in them. Just be calm, have a normal conversation with them, laugh. If they're not ready to talk to you about anything, leave it. But just continue going there. Eventually they open up.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I still remember you said social media has helped in fighting GBV cases. What do you think about the case that happened with Wezi? They were bullying her. That was cyberbullying, and we all know that is part of GBV. How do you help such people to come out of that situation? That was internet live, and it's hard to spread. Let me just say the whole world saw that. How do you help someone to overcome? Because the moment you'll be out there in the society, everyone will be pointing fingers at you. How do you help?
I'm glad that a lot of platforms that are on social media on that case really advocated for Wezi, and this is how it's supposed to be. And you can see the number of people that gave her support, you know. Even the person who did that to Wezi was probably feeling, okay, she won, because she won. I'm glad that a lot of people really supported her, including our very own organization. We came through and, you know, gave her encouraging words and all those things. Cyberbullying is still ongoing in Zambia, and it's very sad that the young people are the ones that are mostly doing this. And in my honest view, I think people that do that, I think they have issues with themselves. And sensitization should continue to reduce such things, because people that do that, they don't have knowledge about GBV, cyberbullying, and how much it affects other people.
Okay, great. So how is the recruitment done in your organization, and how many members do you have right now?
We have active members 20,
Okay.
and non-active members about 70.
Okay.
These are members that as far as the Copper Belt, Chipata, Mutendere. We have a group in Mutendere there. We have one member who's from the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, and basically this is a lady that has supported, let me just say this out. Gender-based violence is not only found with privileged people. It's also found with people that are less privileged.
Yes.
And people that, I don't like to use this term, disabled. I've just forgotten the other term. It's not a good word to say. People that are disabled. In our organization, we have people that are albino. In our organization, we have people that are deaf. So this is a lady that has come through to help out the deaf part, because our team is also learning sign language in order to communicate to such people. So the recruitment is, you call us. What you do is you follow us on Galaxy. It's a bit hard searching for it, but just say Galaxy Community Lusaka. It will come through. Jot that down the number. You can WhatsApp us, message us, or call us, or inbox us on our platform, and then we'll get back to you. Okay. Basically, we charge now. We started charging for membership, and basically what you're gonna get is a T-shirt and an ID. What we're charging you for the membership, and it's just $150.
Right.
Yeah.
So where do you see your organization to be, maybe in 3 years' time as for now?
Okay, so what affected us was COVID, but 3 years from now, we hope that we can open up this organization in at least 2 big provinces in Zambia, so that, because GBV is not only happening in Lusaka, it's happening most of, probably even heavier than what's happening here in Lusaka, in all these provinces. So we are hoping that we can open up branches in 2 provinces within Zambia.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Good night.
With COVID-19 era, how did your organization manage to run through? You know, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes. How did you manage?
Well, it was a rough moment, especially for business, SMEs, small organizations, and being that our organization started a year, and then when we were about to, you know, like grow big, then we were shut down. We did everything possible We did Zoom meetings because we meet every Sunday.
Okay.
And Saturdays we choose which days we're going to go out in the field. So we did Zoom meetings, we did Facebook lives, we did WhatsApp calling, and it was rough, but this is how we managed. We made sure that we used the social media very wisely during that period of time, and we made sure that everyone was in close contact with us. And if we had any physical meetings, it was just about maybe 3 people this week, the other week 3 people, just to make sure that every member is intact and in shape.
Great. So as Galaxy creating innovative minds, how have you seen the impact of you going out there in the communities? Because it is in the communities that people have got challenges. It is in the communities that people have got deep issues that you can't even imagine. 14 years issues there. So, people that are out there, people that are in the public, there are a lot of people that are going through nothing compared to the people that are deep in the communities. So as Galaxy creating innovative minds, how have you seen the impact of your works on the communities? Have you seen the GBV cases reducing, or how has it been?
I wouldn't say it has reduced, but I would say they have knowledge to say this is what this organization does.
Great.
And whenever you face any challenge to do with any GBV cases, these are the best people to help you. And if you're going to have any challenges going to report such cases to the police, we come in and help. We manage to talk to the police and make sure that these cases are dealt with. And we talk to junkies in our community. It's that rough because these are some of the people that actually do GBV.
Yes.
There's, especially in Garden, where you've had a lot of cases that have to do with GBV, of killing junkies, killing people and inserting stuff in their private parts and all those things. We have managed to talk to these junkies. I wouldn't say we have any member that was a junk before that has come to our organization, but we've had quite a number of youths that were substance abusers that have now stopped and they're in the organization. We have had victims of gender-based violence who have finally accepted what they went through, and they're okay now, and they're actually helping out other youths who are also going through the same situation. We hope the general public to come on board and finally understand what we do and where our vision is going to. If we have enough support, I think we would actually eventually get even the junkies themselves to be members and trying to help other people get to the right decisions.
Okay, great.
Okay, do you think we have enough institutions where people should report GBV cases? Because more especially in the villages, we find there is a challenge where we have long distances to report such cases. Do you think the government is really trying to build more to bring more institutions, or as your organization, is it maybe trying to build something in the village there to help out young children, more especially the girls, to report their cases?
I don't think there's been enough. Apart from organizations, these are well-to-do organizations that would go to villages and help out. But this small organization, I haven't seen many, because probably it's the support that these organizations are given. The government, I haven't seen much. We had gone to Petauke, Nyampondoro, and Nyampande sometime last year, where we went to just study what really goes on in the villages. And the experience was depressing, where you could see a 14-year-old is married, 2 kids. Yeah, it was that bad. So I don't think there's much help with people that are in the villages. And if I may say this, I think people need to come together. Organizations, the government, the stakeholders need to support organizations like ours so that they may help these people that are outside reaching places. And it's sad to know that they have taken GBV as one of the cases. It's just one of those cases, but it's actually very deep, especially if you've gone through it.
Okay, great. So thank you so very much, Margaret, for joining us on today's show. It has really been a great discussion, and I personally have learned something not knowing about you, United.
I think I've learned a lot from what we've discussed, and it was good that we should learn how to fight GBV out there, and we should also sensitize some of our friends who have no knowledge on how to overcome such situations.
Great. So thank you so very much, Margaret, for joining us today.
Thank you as well.
Great, thank you. So right and now we're going to go for a very short break and join us quickly as we'll be talking about something else. Stay tuned.
Business Bear is a weekly Munati television production featuring professional bodies like the Economics Association of Zambia, Bankers Association of Zambia, Zambia Association of Manufacturers, governmental agencies, and other professional economists and researchers. The program provides commentary and analysis on economic topics including monetary policies, macro developments, inflation, labor economics, manufacturing, mining, energy, agriculture, and financial issues. Hosted by Lucky Chelomuna Kampe. The program starts every Wednesday at 10 hours.
Munati.
Meaning something sweet.
Munati, your TV on the go.
Catch us anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a device and internet.
Munati TV is Zambia's first internet TV station.
And internet is just not in Zambia, meaning Munati TV cuts across all borders with viewers all the way from USA, Botswana, South Africa, the UK, and world over.
Internet is the future.
And the future is now.
Welcome to the future. Welcome to Munati.
Your TV on the go.
Welcome back to Munati Breakfast Show, and I'm still in the studio with my colleague here, Renaida. So Renaida, what can you just conclude on the GBV and the importance of companies like the one that of organizations like the one that Margaret has, the one that she founded?
I think on institutions like that, I think the government should also put support to it. And it is very important to be educated on GBV, more especially in the villages. There are a lot of cases out there which we do not know. They are so stressing, but with the help from them, we'll be able to overcome it.
I won't only say in villages, but even here, there are people that are staying in Lusaka quite alright, but have little or no knowledge about things like GBV and the like. So I think it's normal. You know, whereby if this is a child who's being kept maybe by the mother or the auntie or anybody, or the stepfather or anybody who's keeping that child, and then they're mistreating that child don't take it as GBV. They'll take it as so it's fine to mistreat me, which is that is not okay. and they have that fear of reporting, to say, if I report this, stuff like that. So organizations like Galaxy, Creating Innovative Minds, the YWCA, and other organizations are very important, because even if you were to report such a case to such organizations, I'm sure they'll find a way of helping you and make sure that that parent, even if you are to stay with that parent again after that case, they'll never mistreat you again.
Yes, such institutions will really help, and I wasn't really focusing on villagers, that are the only people who are going through GBV. Even here in urban places, we have people out there who are suffering the same thing. But I think the key way to overcome this is by us accepting the truth, by maybe let us try to remove these beliefs. There are a lot of beliefs out there, such as, say, when you are done cooking, you need to wash the cooking stick because people have a strong heart on you. Is it really that true? So beliefs, I think, they're affecting us. Yes.
Great. So before I conclude with the show, let me just read one comment that I've seen from Jeannie Simulendema. And Jean says, following within Lusaka, great show. Thank you so very much, Jean. It's actually exciting to know that you have been following this particular show. So right about now, we've come to the end of Munati Breakfast Show, and I was your host, Martina Shiluwadaka, and
I'm Kuleka Runaida.
Okay, great. So be sure that Munati Breakfast Show comes every day at exactly 8 hours, where we get to discuss matters like this, very important matters that educate us and people out there. So also remember to like our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, as well as our Telegram channel. So from me, Martina Shiluwadaka, is have a blessed day, and thank you so very much for watching Munati Breakfast Show.